what kind of physics you'd have to bend or change in order to make the things in comic books work. What's the minimum amount that you would have to change? And this is kind of what we do in research. On the best days in research, we see something we don't expect. And if you don't expect it, if it surprises you, that means that one of your assumptions was wrong. One of the things that you had built your expectation on turned out to be not right. And so you try to find how to change the rules of physics in order to account for your observations. So I tried to see what would I have to do to change, say, to make Thor's hammer work. Why is it that only those who are worthy can lift Thor's hammer? It can't be just that it's very heavy, because we see Thor putting it down on tables. We see him, hanging it up on a hook. So it's not that it's massive alone that makes it difficult to lift. The Hulk is very strong, could not lift the hammer in the first Avengers movie. So I thought, okay, what do I have to change in order to account for this? First, it has to sense whether you're worthy or not. So there's some sort of sensor in the handle that has a biometric evaluator that determines your worthiness or not. Then how do you make sure if someone is unworthy, it can't be lifted? Well, the hammer is made of Uru metal, which doesn't exist, so I can make up properties. And we see in the first Thor movie, in fact, Odin whispers to it and says, whoever can lift this hammer, if he be worthy, possess the power of Thor. So he's overriding the operating system. If someone unworthy tries to lift it, Uru metal, when properly triggered, will emit gravitons. And gravitons are the carriers of gravity force, and basically make it more heavy. And it exactly balances your upward force. You pull a little bit, it gets a little bit heavy. You pull a lot, it gets much heavy. So that the net force is always zero. It doesn't fall through the table or the floor because you're always pulling up with an equal and opposite force. The second you let go, it stops emitting the gravitons. And so the hammer, but then if someone is worthy, tries to lift it, it doesn't emit the gravitons, and it's just a hammer, and you can lift it up. I sent this theory to someone I know who writes comic books, Mark Waid, and he wound up putting this theory in an issue of the Indestructible Hulk, and he had Bruce Banner quote me and as one of his favorite, he thought it was the most likely science-based explanation, as opposed to saying it's just magic. And so that also proves the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. So there must be at least two universes, one in which I'm here and I'm a mild-mannered, humble but lovable condensed matter experimentalist at the University of Minnesota, and the other where I am in the Marvel comic universe where Bruce Banner is aware of my studies on Uru metal.